today, and forever? If God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, then why is the behavior of the God of the Old Testament different from the behavior of the God of the New Testament? This was a question I asked myself earlier in the day after reading chapter 7 of the book of Joshua, because it's a crazy chapter. And later in the day, I just got the understanding or the revelation of it. It's something that we say all the time. We use it as a joke as well. You're lucky that God has calmed down. If not, if I don't strike you dead. You're lucky that God has calmed down. If not, you would have been dead. People say it all the time. So why is it that the behavior of the God of the Old Testament is different from the behavior of the God of the New Testament if we say that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever? See, it's simple. It's Jesus. See, it is not that God has calmed down. God did not change. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, the Bible says, and it is true. See, God has always hated sin. He hated it before, he hates it now. The Bible says the wages of sin is death. It was death, it is death. It will always be death. But the difference between the Old Testament...
Okay. The difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament is Jesus. Yeah, let's be serious. So, what she's trying to say, which is the same question I've been asking, which is the reason why I always come up here and I'm like, you see that Old Testament, it is not my P. And I've even read some part of Revelation right now that I've not read everything, but I'm reading it. I'm currently reading it that I'm beginning to feel like it is just Jesus Christ and his teachings, his way of life and teachings is what I'm just focused on. Purely focused on. Like, I don't even give an F about Paul, about any of those other. It is just Jesus Christ purely. Because a lot of things, a lot of questions need to be asked. So, let's focus on this girl, on her point that she's making. Now, if what she's saying that, because what she's saying is, what she's saying is, because Jesus Christ came, that was why we see that the way what Jesus Christ preached, and the way he lived his life, and the grace that exists now, is different from that of the Old Testament. With all the killings and all the sufferings that people went through in the Old Testament that were coming from God. So it's because of Jesus Christ, right? That is the difference. So God is the same. God does not change. It's just Jesus Christ. But what she does not understand is, saying something like this is, you are undermining God. It's more like God is not really who he is said to be or who claim he is. Because we all know God is supreme. He knows the beginning from the end. He knows what you are going to do before you do them. The only reason why he does not stop a lot of things, which is what many people ask, is because he gave us free will, but then he can't stop it from that day. So if God knows everything, do you think that, or how will I ever ask this question? Don't you think he knows that Jesus Christ was going to die at a certain time? Everything was planned. So if everything was planned, are you telling me that those people of the Old Testament are not as important as us? Is that what you are saying? We are more important than those people. So they use them as example. You are more important than your forefathers. God is now beginning to rate people. If God is rating the Old Testament people lower than us, so Jesus Christ had to come for our own time, like for our own sake, abandoning the Old Testament, let them face the wrath of God. What makes you think God is not going to favor your brother or your sister more than you? What makes you think He's not going to favor your neighbor more than you? Like, I don't know if you are getting my point. So, my point, and what I'm trying to tell you now is, your ideology of Jesus Christ is the reason why it is looking like God changed. Meanwhile, God does not change. It's the same. Your ideology is wrong, my sister. I understand what you are doing, and I get you totally, but it is wrong. Or let me not say it is wrong. I do not believe it. And I believe a right thinking person will not believe it also. And this is what I will say to you. I have no idea why the Old Testament was written that God was killing people, was punishing people up and down. Then Jesus Christ came, having the Spirit of God. He's so kind, merciful, preaches love. I have no idea why it is that way. But what I can tell you is that I'm focused solely on Jesus Christ, because what he preaches, it is for the betterment of we human. The love is the way he lived his life is for the better. So that is the reason. That is my most valid reason. That is my most solid reason on why I am always talking about Jesus Christ and nobody else. I don't really care about anybody else. I don't care about the prophet in the Old Testament. I don't care about nothing. So, my dear, God is the same. Yes. The question is not why is God different from the Old Testament and the New Testament. The question is the Old Testament, are they really talking about the same God that Jesus Christ came to tell us about? That should be the question. Not the other way around, or not the previous statement I said. So, I hope I enlighten somebody. Peace. God bless.